How celebrities reacted to Marilyn Monroe's death. 1. Jacqueline Kennedy. At first, Jackie remained demure on the subject, but the assassination of her husband changed her attitude. Jackie expressed empathy with Monroe's probable suicide. She said,
"I was glad that Marilyn Monroe got out of her misery."
2. Joe DiMaggio. Monroe was spending time with DiMaggio before her passing. There were rumors they'd been planning to remarry. DiMaggio learned of Monroe's death from his sister. She had heard the news on the radio. DiMaggio immediately flew to LA. He spent the night of August 5th sitting with Monroe's body. DiMaggio took charge of funeral arrangements. He even picked out the dress Monroe was buried in. No Hollywood stars were invited to the funeral. DiMaggio said,
"If it wasn't for them, she'd still be here."
For 20 years, he had roses delivered to her grave. 3. Arthur Miller. Miller didn't comment on it publicly. He didn't attend Monroe's funeral. But on that day, Miller wrote an essay. It expressed his anger with Hollywood. Miller wrote,
"Let the public mourners finish the mockery. Most of them there destroyed her."
4. Frank Sinatra. Sinatra never got over Monroe's death. They had been close friends. Of course, there were rumors of an affair. Sinatra reportedly considered proposing to Monroe. He hoped if she were his wife, people would give her space. Monroe's sudden death was a blow. She had announced a press conference. Sinatra believed she was murdered because of it. He blamed the mob or the Kennedys. 5. James Dougherty. Dougherty was Marilyn Monroe's first husband. He'd become an LAPD officer. He was on patrol when his colleague called. He told Dougherty that Monroe was dead. Dougherty avoided reporters that day, but he became less press shy later.
"She was such a pure and innocent soul,"
he said.
"The movie industry abused her and used her."
6. Truman Capote. Capote couldn't believe Monroe was dead. He wrote,
"She was such a good-hearted girl, so pure really, so much on the side of the angels."
7. Sophia Loren. Sophia Loren cried when she heard the news. She said,
"I never met Marilyn, but I thought she died because she couldn't endure it any longer to be alone. I think she killed herself. She had no friends to talk to."
8. Kay Gable. Kay knew Monroe through her late husband, Clark. He had worked with Monroe on the Misfits. Kay went straight to Mass to pray for her. 9. Andy Warhol. Warhol immediately started working on the Marilyn diptych. He printed Monroe's face 50 times in a grid. The faces on the left are colored in orange and turquoise. They represent Monroe as a movie star. The right side remained black and white. The images fade out at the edges. They show Monroe as a person. It was the first of Warhol's several artworks featuring her. To him, Marilyn Monroe was the perfect celebrity. Warhol believed that Hollywood used stars as brands. He was also intrigued by death. The Death and Disaster series followed the Marilyn diptych. The series features screen prints of different tragic scenes.